Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So y'all, I finally got my transitional fragrance video to upload. I did want that video to be up sooner, obviously, but as you all know, if you saw my community post, I had some extreme technical difficulties with that video, so it took me longer than usual to get it posted. So with that being said, I obviously wanted this video to be up a little bit sooner too, but because I had issues with the other video, that's why this one is being uploaded a little bit later than I normally would have done it. But I'm excited to finally get to sit down and film this video because I've been looking forward to this video. I also have another video coming up that is going to be candy fragrances for the month of October, because during the month of October, I like to do candy fragrances, because when I think October, I think Halloween. So during the month of October, I also wear a lot of candy fragrances. So that's another video that I want to get uploaded here pretty quickly. So watch out for that video. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. So I do have some fragrances that I was going to put in this video, but because I'm going to make a separate video on candy fragrances for the month of October, I did not include them in this video, but they will be in the next video. Additionally, I have many other fall fragrances that I'm not going to start wearing at this time. So I'm going to kind of do like 2 fall fragrance videos. So this will be fall fragrances that I've taken out to start wearing now. And then I'll have other fall fragrances that I will start wearing once the weather turns a lot colder. So I will have a second fall fragrance video that I do probably later on in October or maybe even November. But for now, these are the fall fragrances that I'm wearing right now. Before we go any farther, I did want to stop and mention to you guys a way that you can get free fragrance gift cards to places like Ulta, Bath & Body Works, Sephora, and more. And there's also other options for free gift cards. And with these gift cards, you can use them for anything you want in the stores. And they're really great to have because they're completely free. So I just had to fill you all in. I know you guys love fragrance, and especially free fragrance. So I wanted to tell you all about this app. I have been using this for a little while and I really like it. It's a receipt scanning app and you get points towards all your receipts. But there are ways to earn even more points, such as if you happen to make a purchase that is rewarding you with more points, you'll get even more points that way. You'll also get points for playing games. And I want to say they even have online cashback shopping, but I'm not completely sure on that, so you'll have to double check. But either way, I've been using it. It's something that's been benefiting me, and I plan to use it towards a free fragrance, of course. So I had to share it with you guys because I knew you'd be interested as well. So I'll leave the code that will give you 1,000 extra points when you join. I will also have the code in the description and in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoy this opportunity. So I'm still wearing my transitional fragrances that I talked about in my last video. And then I'm also starting to wear these. Now, some of the fragrances in here are also really great transitional scents, and I started to include some of them in my last video. But because I was going to be making this one, I saved some of them for this video. So just like a couple examples would be like Country Apple and Champagne Apple and Honey. Those are excellent transitional fragrances, but they're also fragrances that make me think more specifically of fall. So I did save them for this video. So I'm wearing my transitional fragrances right now, and then my fall fragrances, and then I also have candy fragrances that I'm wearing right now. Yesterday, I actually wore Champagne Apple and Honey for the first time, so I was really excited to take this out and start wearing it because I really love Champagne Apple and Honey. This is just a fresh, crisp apple scent. It's very similar to Country Apple by Bath & Body Works. This one is also very shampoo-y, and it's got that honey note in there, but it's like a floral honey. The fragrance notes are crisp apple, sparkling champagne, jasmine, honey, and autumn woods. It says, wander through an orchard full of sweet, juicy apples and bask in the warm autumn breeze. Such a really good classic fall scent. Really like this. This is also a really great transitional fragrance as well. So that's why I chose to wear this one yesterday. We're still in very, very hot weather. So this was absolutely great for yesterday. But yeah, it feels, where I'm at, it feels very hot. It doesn't really feel like fall yet. It doesn't feel like we've got really into the fall season that much. So this is a really good one for right now, because obviously, I don't want to wear anything that is going to be too gourmand or anything like that with it being so hot, but I also don't want to wear anything that's going to make me think of summer. So this is like the perfect fragrance for right now. Like I said, wore it yesterday and really enjoyed it. So yeah, love Champagne Apple and Honey. So the next one is Country Apple by Bath & Body Works. On the back, it says the fragrance notes are apple blossom, fresh mignonette, sheer sunlight, and orchard woods. Our classic country apple fragrance evokes your first bite of a juicy apple in a sun-kissed orchard. Love this fragrance. This is one that you could wear any time of the year. Along with Champagne Apple and Honey, you could also wear it any time of the year. But this one is just a little bit more versatile. This one is more fresh and clean than the other one is. The other one leans more towards like a fresh and clean shampoo-y scent, where this one is more fresh and clean and crisp. But I really like this one too, and I actually wore this today. Really enjoying it. This is another one that is just absolutely perfect for right now, specifically because we are in fall technically, but it absolutely does not feel like fall where I'm at. So this is really great to set the mood for going into the fall season when it's still, you know, really hot outside. I know for me personally, I say this all the time on my channel, that when it's hot weather, I don't want to wear anything that's like suffocating or gourmand or anything like that. So yeah, really like this one for right now. So the next one I have in here is Midnight Spell. This is more of like an October Halloween fragrance because of the name and the packaging. You could wear this one any time of the year, but I typically save it for around this time just because I have so many other fragrances that I try to get to like in other parts of the year. But this is a fresh and clean fragrance, so I do leave it out year round in my fresh and clean fragrances. But this one is called Midnight Spell by Bath & Body Works. And on the back it says, Mystic Air, Moonlit Woods, and Crystal Amber. Once the clock strikes midnight and the stars are aligned, cast your magical spell. It's time to shine. So this is just a fresh and clean scent. This is very unisex. I feel like anybody could wear this. I always get my brother fragrance for Christmas, and I always buy like the ones that are specifically for men at Bath & Body Works, or I'll get him like a cologne from somewhere else. I had thought about getting this for him as one of his fragrances that I get him for Christmas, or just to get it for him because I thought that he might like it. But this is one that anybody could wear. It's just a nice, fresh and clean fragrance, and it's really great. So yeah, really like it. Okay, so next I have Everlasting Magic by Bath & Body Works. This is a beautiful fragrance. On the back it says Bejeweled Berries, Phantom Petals, and Magic Musk. Once the clock strikes midnight and the stars are aligned, cast your magic spell. It's time to shine. So it's the same phrase that was on the back of the, but this one is really, really good. And this one is almost a little bit candy-like. So I did start to save it for my candy fragrance video that I'm also wanting to do, but I decided I would just include it in this video because this one leans more towards like a berry scent. It's not like a super dark berry. I've heard someone describe it as kind of like the cherry filling that's in like a pie, and that's kind of what it makes me think of, like a light version of a cherry pie filling scent. That's what this smells like to me. So I really, really like it. And I think when it's saying Bejeweled Berries, I definitely think one of the berries in here is actually like a cherry or something. That's what I think. That's what it makes me think of. But yeah, this one is really good. And what's so special about this to me is it's more of like a, even though it's sweet and it's kind of a darker berry scent, this is a light scent, and it's sweet and almost a little bit candy-like. So yeah, really, really good. Really like that one. Okay, so next we have Marshmallow Pumpkin Latte. This is a beautiful scent. on the back it says pumpkin latte, toasted marshmallows, creamy sandalwood, praline musk. Warm up with a latte swirled with cream and topped with fluffy marshmallows. So this is a really good scent. And this is one that is technically gourmand because it is like a drink-inspired fragrance. But this one is not as gourmand and thick and heavy as some of my other fall fragrances that I wear later in the year when it gets colder. This is one that you could start wearing now, but probably on days where we're more like having weather that's in the 60s and 70s, which we haven't really got to that yet. We're still kind of in the 80s. We did have some days recently where it was a little bit cooler because it had rained, and even after it rained, we had a few days where it was just kind of gray skies and almost a little bit gloomy, but it was nice and pleasant outside. So this would have been great for that. I think the weather was probably in the 70s on those days. But at this time of year, we don't get a whole lot of days like that. But when we do, this fragrance would be really great for something like that. Okay, so next is Copper Fields by Bath & Body Works. On the back, it says, harvest, sun, fresh wildflowers, and bronzed woods. It says, immerse yourself in a beautiful garden at dusk, where crystal glasses toast with wild crafted cocktails, and nature is the star of the evening. So this fragrance right here probably reminds me more of fall than any of the fragrances that I have. But this one is one that makes me think of when it really looks like fall outside. And we have started having some trees that have leaves that are turning colors on them, but we still have a lot of green outside. There's a lot of like that type of vegetation. Once outside starts actually like looking like fall, that's what this makes me think of, especially like when the skies start turning gray and the leaves have all turned colors on the trees. Like that's what this makes me think of. It does smell really, really good though. But it's just a very unique scent. It's a really strong scent though, and I feel like this is one that people would either like or dislike. I don't think it would be one that would be in between, but I personally really like it. It does say that it has harvest sun in here, but to me this doesn't smell very strongly of any like sun notes, but maybe it's a different type of sun note since it's harvest sun. But really, really good. I also don't get that wildflower note when I smell this, but it's very good. And I feel like the name Copperfields is very appropriate because I was fixing to say that it reminds me of the color copper, and if like copper had a scent, that's what this would probably smell like. That's what I could imagine being in the fragrance notes, is if it actually said Copperfields instead of some of these other ones. But yeah, so really good fragrance. Really love that one for fall, and I'm very excited to start wearing that one. Okay, so next I have Honeycomb. This one came out earlier this year. I knew right away when I saw the name of this that I was more than likely really going to like this scent, and I do really, really like this. On the back it says, fragrance with notes of sweet shea and golden honey for a warm, addictive scent. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scent. And it really also smells sort of like a fresh and clean scent. Like it's got a little bit of soapiness to it. So I really like that. I actually have not worn this one yet. I've been saving it for fall. So I'm really excited to start wearing this one and get some use out of it. Okay, so next I have Apple by Bath & Body Works. So the fragrance notes for this are apple, strawberry, and rain. Really love this fragrance. This is one that obviously makes me think of the fall because it's got the apple in there and it smells like apple. This one is also got like the strawberry in it. So this kind of reminds me of like pearberry. It's a very similar vibe where it's like a fresh and clean berry scent. It's also got the apple in there though, and a little bit shampoo-y. So really like this. Really love apple scents, but especially for the fall. So excited to bring this one out and start wearing it. I wore this one some back during the spring, I believe, because apple scents also make me think of the spring, but really excited to bring this one out and start wearing it. Love apple. Okay, and then I have another one from that same line. This one is called Musk, And the fragrance notes in this are musk, mimosa flower, and rice milk. So this is another one that when I got it, I was kind of, even though it came out, I think in the spring, this one was kind of making me think of more like a fall fragrance. So I put this in with my Fresh and Clean fragrances because I had kind of got to where most of those, I would leave those out year round, whether I was going to be wearing them a lot right then or not. But this one smells like Fresh and Clean, but it's got a lot of like softness and almost powderiness to it. And it's not necessarily powdery. It's more like a smoothness, I think. But really good and makes me think more of like cooler weather than it does warmer weather. So I definitely wanted to save this one for fall and bring it out and start wearing it now. I have worn it before and really liked it. I just haven't worn it a lot because I wanted to save it for now. So I'm excited to bring that one out and start getting some use out of it. So next we have White Jasmine, and this has fragrance notes of creamy white jasmine, apple blossom, and white cedar wood. It says blooming jasmine fills the air as you wander through a beautiful summer meadow. So this is a fragrance you can wear any time of the year, but it's got the apple blossom in there. And anything with apple, I always bring out during the fall. I really like this fragrance. And this one is also really good for pairing with apple fragrances, specifically some of the other ones I have already mentioned, because I believe those have some jasmine notes in them. So it's really good for right now on its own, but it's also good paired with some other fall fragrances from Bath & Body Works. So next is Fresh Vanilla Blossoms. I love this fragrance so much. I have backups of it. I think I have at least 2 more backups of this. On the back it says suede petals, soft sandalwood, and vanilla bean. It says drift into your cozy place and embrace this comforting vanilla fragrance with a delightful twist. This is so good. I really love this fragrance. It's just so beautiful, and it's one of the more unique vanilla fragrances that Bath & Body Works has came out with. But yeah, I really like this one. It smells so good. And the suede petals are the first note that's listed on here. And to me, you can really smell that suede petals note. And it gives this even more of a calming vibe. Vanilla is already calming, but then you add in that suede petals note. And it's almost grounding when you smell of it. So really, really good for relaxation. If you're just going to be lounging around the house, reading a book and romanticizing fall, this is excellent for that. But this is also excellent for many, many other occasions. So it's really good, and I'm really excited to start back wearing that one. I'm going to be moving all of my fall fragrances over to my rack, and then I'm going to take the transitional fragrances that I'm still wearing and move them over here, because typically whatever fragrances I'm wearing the most of, I will move them over here to this rack. But I just have these right here for right now while I'm filming. But I'm not going to leave them this way. I'm going to move them. I'm editing and I realized that I forgot a couple of fragrances, so I wanted to make a short clip so I could share those with you guys as well. So the next one on the list would have been Victoria's Secret Garden Daydream. On the front it says gardenia and brown sugar, and on the back it says creamy gardenia mingles with bergamot and sugar, flourishing florals. So this is one that I always like to bring out at this time of year. This one works great as a transitional fragrance, and it also is a really good fall fragrance. It works great for the weather that we're having right now, and it also works great for the cooler weather. So this is one that once I take it out and start using it, I will also use it throughout the cold season and over into the winter as well. So really, really good, really sweet, and also a little bit floral. This one actually came out with, this one actually came out with this fragrance right here. They were in the same set. And I talked about this one in my transitional fragrance video the other day. So I believe when these came out, they came out around this time of year, and I believe they were intended to be transitional fragrances and or one of Victoria's Secret's fall collections. So really, really good for right now. Really sweet and also a little bit floral and just really, really nice. Like I said, it goes really well with the weather we're having right now, and it will also go well with the weather that we're going into. So really good, and really wanted to include it. The next one is Pinkberry Clouds by Bath & Body Works. On the back it says strawberry spun sugar, marshmallow fluff, and fresh air. Fluffy pink clouds cover the sunset sky as you dream away the perfect summer day. So this is one that came out during the summer, but it always made me think of cooler weather, and that's usually when I wear this one. This one makes a great transitional fragrance, but it's also really good for just fall in general, and also the colder weather, the much colder weather, and then, you know, winter as well. So really like this one. It's really sweet, a little bit candy-like. So this has a fresh air note in it, so it's also very open and airy, but at the same time, very sweet and really delicious. Really like this fragrance. This is one that you could start wearing right now, but I personally like to wait until it cools off just a little bit, or at least wait for the days where we're having like weather that's at least down to like the 70s. So this is one that I could have already worn on the days that I had mentioned earlier in the video, where I had said, you know, we did have a couple days where it was a little bit rainy, and then it was just kind of gray skies after that for a couple days. And so we were kind of in the 70s then. This would have been great for that. So really good for right now and the weather that we're going into. So yeah, and also I have went ahead and rearranged everything. So I wanted to show you guys how that turned out. I did end up moving my fall fragrances over here to my rack, and I ended up putting the lighter ones up here, and then the ones that had just a little bit more to them and a little bit more depth down here. That way it would be even more like transitional. So I'm happy with how that is. And then my transitional fragrances that I'm still wearing, I brought them over here. These are the ones that I have not worn yet. And then the ones that I have worn but want to get more use out of, I put them on this shelf. And then the other ones that I have already worn but probably won't wear again anytime soon, I moved those to other places in the room. Some of those went into storage. Some of them went into where I keep my signature scents. And then some of them were actually some fresh and clean scents that I've already worn. So I just stuck them up here, and I put them over here because I've already worn them. By the way, I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video that I also will be reaching for some fresh and clean fragrances as well. This is where I keep my fresh and clean fragrance section, is over here. So I will be reaching for those some, but I won't be reaching for them as much as I am reaching for the other fragrances, just because I have so many other ones that are more specific to this time, and I for sure want to get plenty of use out of those right now. So I did want to mention that to you guys. These are some that I will definitely be reaching for more as we get later into fall. But right now, I will probably be reaching for them more sparingly because, like I said, I want to get more use out of my other fragrances that I more closely associate with fall. And also, I did make a video on this the other day whenever I rearranged my fresh and clean fragrances for fall. I just never got around to editing it and posting it because I had other ones that were more pressing. So I think I'm actually just going to delete that one and make a new one and show you guys how I rearranged my fresh and clean fragrances for the upcoming season. So that's a video that will probably be coming out pretty soon as well. So now we'll get back to the rest of the video. Okay, so next I have Apple Rush by Pink by Victoria's Secret. The fragrance notes are Honeycrisp, Apple, Pink Clouds, and Caramel Vanilla. On the back it says all the fall feels, Honeycrisp, caramel dipped, and finished with a current of crisp autumn air. So I don't know, I got this fragrance recently, and while I do like it, it doesn't smell like anything unique to me, and none of these notes really stand out to me. I did consider returning this, but I haven't actually worn it yet. Like, I have sprayed it out and smelled of it, but it just kind of reminds me of like your typical mall fragrance. That's exactly what I think of when I smell this. Like, it just smells like I went to the mall and picked up a fragrance, just an average, like it's just that same, like, I don't know, like if there was a fragrance that was called mall fragrance or something, I feel like this is exactly what it would smell like. So this isn't anything unique or special or out of the ordinary. It is supposed to be a fall fragrance, but as of right now, I'm kind of considering returning this. However, I do want to wear it first, because sometimes if I'm not sure about something, if I go ahead and wear it, it will help me decide if I do in fact like it and want to keep it, or if I want to return it. So I'm planning to wear this, and then I'll decide if I want to keep it or return it. It doesn't smell bad at all. It's just, like I said, there's nothing special or unique about it. But I also haven't worn it yet. So I'm going to have to wear it and then make a final decision that way. But I did decide to keep it for now. And, you know, I will be wearing it at some point and seeing if it's one that I want to keep. If you guys have tried this, let me know what you think about it. Because honestly, when I smell this, it doesn't smell like anything. It just smells like I went to the mall and picked up a fragrance. And if that was a scent, I feel like that's exactly what this would smell like. That's the only way I know how to describe it. But yeah, undecided on that one. But I did want to include it because it is one of the fall fragrances that I have that I will start wearing here pretty soon. So yeah, wanted to include it. Okay, so next is Fairy Tale. This is another one that is a really good transitional fragrance. So normally I would have included this in my transitional fragrance video, but I just decided to save it for this video. On the back, it says pomegranate nectar, fresh orange blossom, vanilla bean, and warm amber. It says, write your own story and get whisked away on an adventure through lush woods where the air is filled with magic and the fairy tale ending is up to you. Warm and fresh with a hint of magic. So I like this little additional description they put down here. I really wish they would do this on all of their fragrances because I think it would be really helpful. It's just a short little description, but it's exactly what this fragrance smells like. So I like that, and I wish Bath & Body Works would do that more often. But anyways, Fairy Tale is a really good scent. This is one that I wear every year during the fall, and it's really great as a transitional fragrance, but it's also good, you know, really for any time of the year. But this one makes me think more specifically of spring and fall, and it's also one that I wear during the winter time. But this is like an OG fall fragrance for me, and I know like for a lot of other people too, because I see a lot of other YouTubers who use this as like a transitional fragrance or a fall fragrance. But yeah, really beautiful, really pretty. It's perfumey, and a lot of people have compared this to YSL Libre. I don't know how the correct way is to pronounce that, but there's so many different pronunciations, so I'm just going to spell it because everybody says it different. But yeah, it's been compared to that fragrance. I'm not really sure if I think it smells like that, but that's just, I wanted to mention that because I know a lot of people compare it to that, and I think there's people who pair this with that as well. But yeah, really beautiful fragrance. I'm excited to start wearing that one. And then I have Open Sky by Bath & Body Works. On the back, it says fresh air, wild blackberries, soft vanilla, and a cloud of comforting vanilla. Clean, bright, and refreshing, like the open blue sky on a perfect day. Take a deep breath of this fragrance that captures the feeling of fresh air. And I would totally agree with that statement. This really does smell like fresh air and open sky. So I feel like the name was very fitting for this, and I really like this fragrance. It always makes me think specifically of fall and even the winter time, so I really like having it out for those seasons, and I'm excited to start using that and get some use out of it. Okay, so next I have Blueberry Sugar Pancakes. This is one of the sweeter fragrances that for me is appropriate year round, but I typically wear it more during the fall time because it just makes me think more of the fall. But I love this fragrance. This is one of my favorite like sweet fragrances that I own. So on the back it says sugared blueberries, fresh pancakes, caramel cream drizzle. Whip up a warm sweet treat with fresh picked blueberries. So to me, the fresh pancakes note doesn't really stand out with this. Like, this isn't very bready or super like foodie or anything like that, which is why I really like it, because I have discovered over the years that I don't particularly love to smell like food. So this doesn't really make me think of food. It just smells really, really sweet. It smells like blueberries. And I guess the caramel cream drizzle is what sweetens this up even more, but without being too overbearing or overpowering or suffocating or anything like that. So really, really like this, and definitely excited to start wearing this one. I always get a lot of enjoyment out of this, and I wear this all through the fall and through the winter, and I love pairing it with other sweet fragrances as well. Really good. Okay, so next is Victoria's Secret Tea's Cocoa Soiree. So I have a lot of cocoa fragrances that I will be wearing through the fall. Some of those I did not include in this video, however, because I will be waiting until it gets colder before I wear those. But this is a very, very light cocoa. It's very floral. So this to me is perfect for right now because you don't even really smell the cocoa that heavily. You can just kind of barely tell that it's even in there. And then it's got the florals too. So it's just a really nice scent that makes me think more of like cooler weather and fall nights and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited to start wearing that one. And I definitely wanted to include it in this video because I think it's very appropriate for right now. Okay, and then we have Milk by Bath & Body Works. This one came out recently. And this is another one that I've been saving for fall. On the back, it says, fragranced with notes of sugared oats and whipped milk for a creamy, cozy scent. Really, really like this so much. I knew immediately when I saw this that I was more than likely going to like this, and I do really, really like it. So far, I have liked most of these that Bath & Body Works has came out with in this like perfume mist line. I don't have every single one of them, but the ones that I really like, I have purchased. But all of them, for the most part, have been good, but they have came out with some really good ones, such as this one. So this was one of the ones that I had to have, but yeah, really good. This one is probably the most foodie one that I included in this video because this one is a little bit more gourmand and warmer than the other ones are, in my opinion. But yeah, really like this one, and I'm excited to get some use out of that one as well. Okay, so next I have Wild Fig and Manuka Honey. On the back, it says, delight in the scent of wild fig and Manuka honey, botanical inspiration, sweet embrace. Really like this fragrance so much. I really love any type of honey scent, but the honey in here is a lot different because it's Manuka honey. So I thought it was really interesting that Victoria's Secret did this fragrance with Manuka honey instead of your typical honey fragrance note. I have a lot of fragrances that have honey in them, and I love that all of them are similar in a way, but they're also different from one another. And some of them are very different from one another. And this is one of those that's a lot different than some of the other ones I have because it's not your typical honey scent. So really like this one. I also have a whole section of fragrances that are more like darker berry type fragrances. And I have wanted to do a video on those for some time. I just have not done that yet because a lot of those fragrances make me think more of colder weather. So I do have a whole section in here with those types of fragrances, and this is where I typically keep that. I did bring a few of them out for this video, but I didn't bring all of them out because at some point while it's cold, I am planning to do a video on those fragrances as well. So yeah, but this is one that I wanted to include because it's for sure one that I want to start wearing right now. Okay, and then we have Bare Vanilla by Victoria's Secret. On the back it says whipped vanilla, soft cashmere, skin to skin. This is a really good vanilla scent. This is a classic that Victoria's Secret has had for a while, but it's really good. I actually have not worn this one that much, so I want to get more use out of this one this time. But I really love to start wearing vanilla fragrances now, and then I really tear them up once we start getting to like much colder weather, and especially through the winter time. Vanilla always helps me power through the last couple months or so of our cold weather and winter time. So really love vanilla. This one smells so good too, and I just want to get more use out of this one than I normally do. So yeah, I'm gonna put this down here instead of moving it up here. Okay, and then next I have Pink Apple by Victoria's Secret. This is hair and body mist, and doesn't say much on the back. On the front it just says that it contains hyaluronic acid and vitamin B5. But this is one that I believe I wore this once since I got it. But this is just your typical fresh and clean shampoo-y apple scent. And I figured it would be when I saw this. I was like, that's probably what it's going to smell like. And it does. So it's really good. And it's similar to Country Apple by Bath & Body Works. So even if Bath & Body Works doesn't bring Country Apple back for a little while, I have several fragrances that are very similar to it. So even if I run out, I'll have these. But yeah, this one's pretty good. Again, it's similar to Country Apple, but this one is probably a little bit more shampoo-y, but it's great. Really like it. And then another one I have that's very close to Country Apple is Sweet Apple Cider by Bodycology. On the front, it says fresh apples and mulled spices. And back here, it says sweet apple cider. Embrace the changing seasons of the sweet scent with the sweet scent of crisp apples. So this one is very similar to Country Apple by Bath & Body Works, but this one is a little bit sweeter. When I first saw this fragrance and I saw the description, I was like, oh, this is probably not going to be a fragrance for me, because I was thinking like a cinnamon apple, or even like the description says, a sweet apple cider, because it says mulled spices. But this doesn't smell anything like that to me. It does have a little bit of an apple drink vibe to it. But as far as the mulled spices, those are not detectable to me. And it's not like any type of like cinnamon apple. This is much more close to like Country Apple by Bath & Body Works. So really like this one. And it's one that I also wear at this time. But this is another one that I could use if I run out of Country Apple, because it is so similar. However, I do prefer that Bath & Body Works actually brings back Country Apple, because I would like to have more of those. Okay, so next is Honey Mist by Victoria's Secret. No, this one's by Pink by Victoria's Secret. And it says Honey Drizzle, Purple Dahlia, and Whipped Vanilla. This is another beautiful honey fragrance. And this one is a little bit more gourmand than the other ones that I have showed in this video. But it's not like super overpowering or something that you have to wait till it's like really cold outside to wear. So I do start wearing this one at this time. This is another one that's really great as a transitional fragrance. So I think I've actually shown this in a transitional fragrance video in the past, but I wanted to save it for this video because I feel like it's a little bit better if it's classified as like a fall fragrance. I feel like that's a better place to classify it as, but it does also work well as a transitional fragrance. So this would work for now too. Again, this is something that I would probably wait till days where we're at least down to the 70s before I start wearing it, but it is good. It's not suffocating. This is one that I also wear in the springtime, because honey fragrances also make me think of the spring. But yeah, I really love this fragrance, and I'm excited to wear it and pair it with other things. I have a lot of different fragrances that I like to pair this with, and I also wear this throughout the winter and pair it with things then. And I probably wear it by itself some in the winter too, but I also like to pair it with other fragrances as well. Yeah, really, really good one. This is one that I will start wearing now and again through winter. And this is one that I will even use in the spring as well, because it does kind of make me think of the spring, but also because I have other fragrances that I wear in the spring that this pairs really well with. So yeah, I'll have this one out for a little while. Okay, and so next I have this Happy Nation body mist. This is in the scent Vanilla. This is actually by Victoria's Secret. And on the back it says, fluffy and cloud-like, this soft vanilla scent blend glows with comforting warmth. So this is just a really good vanilla fragrance. And I like to start wearing vanilla fragrances around this time. And like I said, once we get to the colder weather, I start wearing them even more. But if it's a light, sort of fluffy vanilla like this one is, I go ahead and bring it out now and start wearing it, as long as it's not too strong or foody or overpowering or anything like that. So this is great for that purpose, which is why I wanted to bring it out now. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like. Also, if you have not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I will have another fall fragrance video coming up. The fragrances that I showed you guys are probably like, I would say about half of my fall fragrance collection. And I do have a fragrance video coming up of candy fragrances for the month of October. So I hope to talk to you guys soon, and I hope you'll have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.